Going crazy all by myself, you beautiful people, as I take off my spectacles and say a very good evening to you and welcome to a special broadcast of the Slicer TV podcast, which happens to be here to help me count. I think it's episode 25. It is a very special one. It's going to be very short on the feet of the successful Joburg Film Festival. There is another one that's coming up in the Eastern Cape, the brainchild of a gentleman by the name of Msengana, whom we're going to be having a conversation with very shortly. I'm going to bring him onto the screen, and we're going to have that chat about very exciting news. I mean, like I was elated to see, having been part of the journey from a distance in terms of saying, get up, do it again, brother, don't give up, and all of that, and to see it the way it is. That was just like my only contribution to it. So it wasn't really much of of a contribution, but like, yeah, you can do this. You can fight, brother, fight. Those people, because you box, yeah, there to your dopai, then you're out here and stuff like, no, get up, fight. I don't have energy. But nah. Yeah, but finally, we've had something good that comes out of it, and it's looking proper. We're going to have a conversation with him. And another very interesting one, I've been privileged. I was at the first one last year, and there's another one going on this year as well. That is the MEC's AIDC's round table discussing. If you remember last year, we were talking the evolution of EVs, which are electric vehicles, and the theme this year is basically around logistics. It's around like transporting these vehicles in a very tumultuous time, very interesting in South Africa, but I definitely will have a conversation. Well, it's a conversation I only could find time to speak to the Chief Executive Officer, which is the CEO of AIDC. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stick around. You're about to find out. But right now, I think it's time for me to bring out my guest, Msengana, whom I'm really going to be talking to first of all. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Molo Putin Ninjani, I hope you and your people listeners are very well.
Yeah. We are proper. It's just excitement from one media guy to another, or one arts activist to another, to see what I'm seeing on social media platforms, and this guy is not saying. So you deciding to keep things to yourself now. But the money is rolling in. This guy. Msengana, founder of the Eastern Cape Film Festival. How many years has it been now? This is going to be the 9th that you're doing, right?
Yes, but first and foremost, when that's like so being called a CEO was like, wow. I was like, I thought I was just a creative. Thank you for that, Carla. This is the 9th Eastern Cape Film Festival. We started in 2014 as the Ginsberg Film Festival. And then in 2015, we started as the Eastern Cape Film Festival. So this is year number 9. So a few months from now, we'll be turning 10.
This is a conversation I've never really had with you. Your passion for film and stuff, is it something that you set out to do while you were growing up? How did you come across film?
Ekhaya at home where I grew up. I was born at Tinaga, Karieka, and then I moved to the Eastern Entata. And when I was there, I used to basically sit in front of the television. Come with TV, like there was a television, there was a table.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would literally sit in front of. My parents told me, "Hey, when I would with TV, like this close to the TV." And because
it's odd that you're not wearing spectacles.
Come again?
It's quite odd that you are not wearing spectacles.
In fact, another story. Another story, they wanted me to, like, I almost had to wear spectacles, but I ran away from them because there's his bags. About you guys wear glasses and contact lenses. Imagine me
Remote.
being active at a young age and having to run around, make sure. Then I used to lose my pens and phones and wallets. I mean, losing watch. So now I didn't want one more thing. It comes to, oh, you've lost the spectacles again. So
I don't
fortunately,
think much has
we had
changed.
that.
No, but anyway, getting back to the story. I mean, coming across film and obviously getting to a point where you're saying like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I want to be this guy that's behind. I mean, like, just a brief one around that, because I really want to dedicate as much time as possible to us talking about the actual festival.
Okay, Itala, please rephrase the, please say the question again. Ngizofuna nje uphendula kahle because ngifuna ubhuda. Yacho. There's your glasses. You see, your glasses confuse me, but you don't have glasses for a change. So please ask your question again before we jump into the other one.
It's basically how you got into film and obviously being behind the scenes instead of, being talent, because most people want to be talent.
Okay, what happened is, like I was saying to you earlier on, I was saying earlier on, I used to stay just in front of the television set, and I used to watch what was
Mm,
going on, and I was like, I did not like the quality of production that I could do was to go into Joburg and learn and work so that I can basically come back and fix our productions. So my journey then, because now it was 1992 when I finished matric. So then I left there and I went to Durban because then we didn't have options like about after, about
mm,
so now we had to basically, there were only two options literally. It was speech and drama, which I did, and then there was journalism. So I went to study that in a technical in 1994, and because we're trying to get close to what my dream is. But obviously, you get then you realize speech and drama is more about theater because there was no big film industry, people understanding. So
no,
I
for sure.
went there and I studied for those 3 years, and then I went to Joburg, came back, went to Joburg. I took a truck, got to Joburg for 6 months. I remember it was uh, 1998 during the World Cup. Because when the World Cup started, I was still at home at Dinah career. Then by the time
Mm,
the World Cup ended, I was in Joburg. So I went to Joburg. So from June up until October, I was hustling. I moved like I want to go this. Then I first started obviously because I started acting, going to try to
yeah.
do auditions and film. And I did a couple with Solandi, like all those different. Like I want to mention the names, but I used to do adverts for this company. But I
Oh,
felt like,
cool.
oh, there's something that I'm not feeling. Like when I go to auditions, I go there and I do the audition, but I don't feel good about myself. But man, I could have done better. But then what
Mm,
happened is eventually, like hustle. I remember that time at Joburg because you left home saying I'm going to Joburg to go hustle in Jerez. Then you get there, you probably don't understand. So for 6 months, I was in Jerez. Then in December, I started working for this other company, Tensinyama, this chicken place. I worked there for two
okay,
months.
movies and chicken. Sharp.
No, like I used to wear something called I was a natural born griller, the t-shirt on my back.
Oh,
Because
wow.
at least because what happened is got December because I was staying with my boys, Udali, APC, 802 APC at Joburg, was studying at vet. So
Mm.
because I knew what got December, he had to leave. Like when the schools had to vacate. Then I went to those guys and I all knocked around. But we see your potential, but guys, I know he's offering 890 rands a month, but I am not getting even a cent a month. And then, fortunately, they say, Shabbos, give you a chance. I worked there for 2 months. January, fortunately, there was a guy called Lufikile who was managing a baseline. So I was staying with him at the time. So every day, when I left the shift at work at 4, he'd studying his work. So I go sit at baseline, listen to music, interact with people. And fortunately, one of those nights, I met some kind of guys who said, "Hey man, we see your passion because you've been telling us this passion. How about there's this lady called Caroline Karuma Seko that doing this program. I think I should link you up with her." Literally, and then I was about to resign. Like on that Monday, then I literally like resigned the week after that, and I went there. And fortunately, I got there on Monday. The guy, like you said, no man, come through tomorrow. We're starting to shoot rehearsals. It was that film at
Wow.
Nabitam Pumwana, the guys I worked with, because it was a training program, which is some of the things that we do with Dumisani Pakati, Eugene Paramore, just trying to of the other names. Nambita Mpumlwana was the lead actor in that first film I did. So I got to set, I was first, second AD.
Oh wow.
Not to say the rest is history, I guess.
Wow. Oh wow. And but what I like about it is that like you set out to do this before you even left the Eastern Cape, to say that like I'm gonna go to Joburg, go get all of this experience, and then come back to the Eastern Cape, which is commendable. So then you start the film festival. Obviously, one of the most difficult things we know about the Eastern Cape are the struggles of trying to do, let alone just business, but to come and say that you are going to be in the arts, it's far more difficult. I mean, like as I say that, like look, being part of your journey, you know, when did things start turning for you?
Two things there. Okay, I'll start off up where you ended off on the last thing. But so after being in Joburg, I always knew I want to be there for like 10 years, get the information, get the networks, and come back home to come and develop Eastern Cape, our province. So at that time in Joburg, things were work. But once I started working and you got the right attitude and the right known, I kept working non-stop. And I decided in 2010 to come back home. And
Mm.
and finally, like you said, come on, I remember in 2020, before COVID, I was sleeping at your place. I came for an interview. So I remember talking to you every someone, Mr. Mkuiko. Me and you had a long conversation, I think overnight, like 2 or 3 hours,
Yeah.
talking about the challenges in the state Cape and how frustrated I was. And I will honestly tell you that there's been no taining thing. When I say in that sense, because first of all, yeah, cool, like we can say things is getting there. But in terms of support and stuff like that, nothing has changed. But in
Mm.
terms of what has changed is, for example, as the SKK Film Festival, for the past 5 years, we do training programs every year. And then part of what we're doing now during this film festival this year is screening 10 films that we shot up in the Eastern Cape, mostly Nelson Mandela Bay, mostly Kariega, Konomuhle, Maitasi.
Just
So
run
this
that
thing,
by, just run that back for me, because I think this is the bigger one for me. The fact that like you are finally getting to a point where you are showcasing films that you shot. So which means that like at some point things change drastically. But who would you say out of the people who are responsible for putting these things together, like was most important to you to actually get you to a point where you keep your vision of coming to give back to the Eastern Cape, but to also to go further to give you enough leeway to shoot films, because obviously it costs to actually do that. I mean, like in terms of your partners, both from private sector, business, if you have.
it's tough, ne? But this is what we're trying to achieve because I'm fortunate. As I mentioned, there's something called the National Film and Video Foundation, which basically prioritizes us as the Eastern Cape as an underserviced area. And over the past few years, I've been fortunate when I apply for funding, they basically are granted to us. So literally that time when I was with you in 2020, since then, every year I've been running a training program, script writing. First time I said, guys, 2020,
Yes.
I don't want even a sign from you guys. Can you just give me facilitators? The next year they gave me a bit. I think it was something like ridiculous amount like 65,000 or something using Jan. But it's been
Mm,
growing. Then the next year they'll give you a bit more. But it's about perseverance and push. And then
mm,
so it happens because once people can see a track, because of the track record, they can see a track record. I think as things stand, I've trained over 1,000 people up in the Eastern Cape. So once people can see a track record, they can see what you do. You've got on Facebook, you've got as a profile. Then they can see, but this guy is serious. It's not just my high school. With DJ. I do breakfast show like 10, 15 years ago. And then all of that I stopped. Because this is why you're doing podcasts. But it's
no,
there.
for
It's a
sure.
passion. It's there. So you keep pushing no matter what. But let me just do a podcast basically. So it's tough. It is tough. This is why during the festival, we're bringing people like ECDC, we're bringing NFA, Film Publications
Mm,
to come and show guys, Nanzi Mali, where's the money? This is how you access it. Because now what happens? People say, "Hi, NFF, ECTC, they give money to only to their friends," because they don't understand the processes. Because they don't take time to
Mm.
go to the website and look at the policies and guidelines and apply based on that.
I feel you. Now I want to get into us talking about the actual festival when English. This year there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot interesting and happening. What is it that you promise? Because I see these movies and the stories from just social media. It makes me excited, and I could pray that like I'm in somehow I'm in the Eastern Cape to actually experience this. Obviously, I mean, you started doing a movie with the way there was let's go where the lead actress was Nandi Pampumlwana. So which means that you got in right in the deep of it, and you've had relationships that you've nurtured over the years, still keeping this passion. What is your theme for this ninth edition? What is it that you are focusing on as you showcase all of these movies?
And it's a very because what's happening this year, ne, our theme is the art of making short films. Because also, we were just talking about now about how you get funding. When you can do a short film for 5 or 10 minutes, you're able to take that short film as a proof of concept, POE, proof of evidence. When you go to the funder, because there's these international festivals, you can go to Berlin, Toronto, TIFF, Oscars, and you sell. But I've got a short film, and then it is there, and you can see you did a great job. And then these people are
Yeah.
going to say now because like, it's there, it's something which you call you. Then you can say, there you go, guys. This is my concept, and then you can pitch it to permission editors, to content buyers, to
Bias.
things, whatever. So it is critical in Jan, and this is why again this year is so I love it so much because hence I was saying with you, now the concept is the art of making short films because what we do a lot of the time, Tina, we try and do long 45-minute films. Fortunately, as part of the film festival that
Mm.
we and then it doesn't make sense because
And
there's one
sometimes
thing I need to
the budget is not allowing as well.
exactly,
But you want to
exactly,
stick to this thing. So instead of editing and trimming it down, so that you
exactly.
have something short, but that has like a lasting impression on the funder
Mhm.
and the viewer. I get you. I get you. Very interesting.
Exactly, because now you're trying to spend, like you said, 45,000 over a week, over 3 different locations, over using so many people. When you can say, let me take 45,000 and have one location, which means you don't have. Because in
Ah.
the film industry, what counts a lot is the movement. When you have to move locations, that's an hour or two, and when they get there, they have to set up. It's another hour. Now it
Mm.
means out of the 12-hour shooting day, all you have is 6 hours to shoot. Now, if you put everything in
Wow.
one location and you make it short, which means you can shoot like I can't say this, shoot the tube out of it, because that's all we say. Like, let's shoot the tube out
Yeah.
of it. No, industry. Because you just keep shooting and like you can get all the shots you want and do it stylistically, will make grand. So what we did is we're gonna be screening a slate of 10 short films that was done and
Okay.
produced by the Eastern Cape Film Festival in
Mm.
2024, which I was saying about we were short up and those come from a sense of the year before in 2023. Again, through a funding from NFF, we did a
So it's almost like alumni. It's almost like alumni of the Eastern Cape Film Fest. People who came
yes,
in, sat through the workshops, and said, "I want to study, or I want to focus on being a DOP. I want to focus on being, all of these different roles." And now they finally coming with a full-on product. Because there's some very interesting ones, man. I don't know whether I'm just gonna pull them up on screen. I don't know whether you can see them.
no, growing up
There's
teenager.
a grown up teenager. If you can
Yeah, I
just,
can see.
I really would like for you to just give the Slicer TV podcast viewer like a taste of what, or a synopsis of what the movies are about.
Okay, a growing up teenager is a story. I remember that one of the interesting story. Actually, this story was written by a lady, Unokolo Michaels from Kariaka Tinach. She is 75 or 80% blind, partially blind.
No
So this
way.
was a concept where she said she wants a story, a growing up teenager is a mother and the daughter. And you know, abantwana, they wanna be out there, struggling and do those things. When the mother is saying, don't do this. But I said, you know what? How about we take the story and make it a father? Because
Oh,
there's this thing of
wow.
a father and a daughter.
Mm. And
Because
there's a special
automatically,
relationship there.
yeah, because there's always a challenge as a single father. There's always a challenge because we always know about single mother, but what about the child? Which fortunately, let me go to Tomisani because fortunately, Zugolo Tata was shooting one of the other films we did. What you
Oh,
know, Manu Tumusani, seeing what we're doing, he would like to be part of this. I'm like, sharp. Literally, he came here on a Friday, we did workshops Monday, we shot this film with him. So it's basically about a
crazy.
relationship between a father and a daughter and what they like obviously to speak too much. That's why it's called a growing up teenager.
Yes, no, of course. I want to move on. I was also just about to stop you and say, Brian, like, don't give out too much. Just the gist, so that
Yeah.
people really go experience it and they actually watch them. There's Zua.
Oh,
What?
it's another one, Utsu. And the believe like a friend of mine, Lulu Lama, this is the actor here is Lulu Lama, the main actor. And it's not because he's a friend, it happened to be like it did all this like everyone else. But then it's like when we started doing this, it was written by a guy called Shafiq Kalumo from Malawi. He was part of the
Okay.
program, he wrote the script and then it was selected, one of the selected scripts. And the story is about it's morals versus religion because Utsuwa means that the rising sun. But Utsuwa now is caught up in a situation where you say when I like so I'm someone who's religious, I will not do certain things, I won't compromise my values. But now his daughter is chronically ill. Then he has to make a choice about what do I do? Do I stick to my morals by my religion because it's Muslim on film,
Mm,
or do I basically break my my religion so that my daughter can survive? That's what the film is all about, basically. And on this film,
crazy.
sorry, just to add on, we've got a legend, Utata Ustembiso Prince, that you
Oh,
know from
wow.
Ingqumba Yamanyanya,
Yes,
always
yes, yes.
moving up, going up. He's part of he's one of he's the second name on the poster, is the second leading, is basically Utsuwa is the lead actor obviously, but then the other actor, Carlos Tembiso Prince, besides Gabanya, everyone else.
Oh, wow. Just before we get to the last one, it's very interesting. Oh, seen as Guigs is all up in here. So but what we do, because we are a live podcast, so obviously the comments do roll in, and there are a lot of people that are really giving it like a thumbs up. I think those messages are gonna come up. Big up Mr. Ngaba Mkolomba, Kwande, Kukanye, Nangakumbi. That's a message that's coming up live from Osnazo Quigs.
Chama,
And there's another one.
Usinazo almost ngunkosikazi Mr. M. So we've got this very strong relationship. Like they've always been supporting me. Like I'm you know
Wow.
this. So
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Yeah.
Mano baba
And
la
there's
bolo.
and there's Babalwa. Omakolombana. Hello, my
Ngimbiza
twin.
ke when I tease her, 'cause we went to school together, like ngisho emthatha. So when I tease her, I'm like, we're ampere cousins.
Oh,
Because
Amber cousin.
Mkolomba, she's in Mkolomba. So I always call her, hey,
Kolomba,
my ampere.
yeah.
You were almost my family, my ampere.
That's
Sibonise so
that's beautiful. There's also one that has come through. Where's this one now? Um, okay. I think we will take a look at the rest of them as we go along. Let's just get rid of that one and see. There's one from Ombeko, not Joko. Saying Kuloa. I don't know why it's not popping up on my screen. But I've got this one as well that's coming from Usfundo Grootboom. Let's push more, Dangesh. This is our hard work we managed to do last year with the crew. So I guess your people are out here in full support.
and where's Usfundo to tell example what we're doing on the 10 films. Like what I'm saying is the year before we did a script writing program with 20 people and we chose 10. And then last year we produced those 10. And what we did, we employed over 300 people, né? And but 200 and over 200 were like people of Africa industry to teach. Usfundo is one of those. I've met
Wow.
Fundo once on a set. He was doing,
No
it was actually a
way.
growing up teenager. We were shooting a scene and he was there. I'm here to assist anyway. And I could see the passion and dedication. And I was like, this one, we bambling on. So then I gave him a chance. Yo, guys, like I'm not buying face. I'm saying I respect him. Chonga on set, like is a camera department. Is a camera department. Yo, it does the most. So it was because we needed to get everyone. Like we got to Zuko Notata, the directors. We got to Siasikyana, Kolomba, Eugene Paramur. But I want to make sure that there's always a trainee in every key position.
In every
Directing, training director, producer, training producer, sound, camera. So usifunda was well though. So I'm like, yeah, man, yo, yeah, push.
wow.
Ngicabula weekend sifunda.
All right. Now, in terms of the program, so obviously there will be panel discussions. I mean, like in between the screenings and all of that. Are there any? Don't want to say high profile, but like people with experience to impart with with the people who will have been attending the festival.
Nakanjani, this is why we do these kind of sessions. Because, for example, we've got Uzaipala, who is, I think we all know, multi-award winning. He's in film, he's in music. And then we've got to be doing a panel discussion on the state of the province, the state of the industry in the province. He's going to do also another section, a panel, a masterclass on music in film. And
Wow.
then we've got Uzwai Jima, who's acting in other films, A Road Less Traveled. And now he's going to be doing a thing on a masterclass and workshop on acting, along with Unati Plaki. Then we've got Usia Sikyana, and I who directed two of those films, A Growing Up Teenager and A Road Less Traveled, funny enough, everything of it. And then there's a couple of people who are coming in. And then, like I'm saying, we'll have about NFF, going to have all Film Publications Board, ECDCs, because the program is going to be tight, guys. Like it's, but fortunately, if you go to our page, Eastern Cape Film Festival Facebook page, then that's where the program is.
Mhm.
Otherwise, there's so much. So for me, it's like, yo, it needs, like there's not enough time. There's so many people who want to come. There's Rutando, Galata, also doing post production.
Wow.
There's Charles Usake Jele, who's based in America right now. He works for Netflix. He's also going to be doing things on post production. There's me. We're talking about producing. It's a lot, man.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
This is crazy. I'm super excited. So, in terms of your target market, who are you talking to? Who should come and be part of this film festival?
in initially our main primary target market is people who are aspiring new entrants and people who are already filmmakers, because about who are aspiring they need to know what happens so they can even choose. Because when you talk to people about it, I want to be in film, what do you want to do most, and say I want to act. So now we're going to
Mm.
show them there's acting, there's producing, there's directing, there's costume, there's wardrobe, there's unit, there's locations, there's so many departments, so many other things. So I'm okay. I think next year, for example, with high school, next year I want to go and study film, but now I know where I think I should go into, because the industry is overflooded with directors and producers. People want to, like, you
Mm.
understand there's other monies everywhere else. So people say, oh man, actually. Then now you've got the ones who maybe are students or who started doing their own things, who then can meet with us, why you can meet with us here and network and basically get more information and see how they can work with them. For example, there's a lady called Usanda Kreng, you call it Krengi Paya.
Yeah.
She was part of the program, the script writing program. Her story was not selected, but I always said, but if your story don't get selected, we'll see how we can work with you on the crew. And then she came in as 80. She worked with Usuzuko. She unotata. She worked with Siasityana. And after that, Uzuko took her to Joburg for 3 months. Said,
Oh,
I'm doing a
wow.
Netflix series. I wanted to be part of it. You understand? So it's those small things, man, that like very inspiring. But you can see the difference that you are
That you are
making
making
in
within the
people's
community.
lives.
Mm. Uyasila kuyo yonke lento. Because I'm kidding. There's Naciso and yet okay, uyabulisa Jay is just greeting, and then who else is there? Mbehle Lau, Pilile. Yeah.
Bona chayingwe ubona uchayingwe lo ulawo upilile kwalo.
Man, I'm very excited, English. It's just one of those, because when you do stories, you cover these types of stuff. You wanna talk about people that you are uncovering. As you say that, like, I've always been there, helping a boxer that is on stage is very difficult because he's the one who's taking the knocks. Moving from radio drama to doing all of these things, falling and getting up, and sometimes it would feel like you are moving somewhere, things are working out. And I remember the excitement about the trip. What was the country you went to? You were invited to, and I think even then you had challenges with getting the appropriate people to support and sponsor you. To a young filmmaker or to a young person just looking to embrace entrepreneurship, what would you say to such a person? Because it's been 9 years and it started long before the 9 years. But to get now to the ninth and things you can say in Dobana, like 10th, I'm going to blow it off the park. Like, what would you say to that young person right now?
Now for me, I'd say, and funny enough, I was having this conversation in Nozwai on Friday about the passion, the determination, the hunger, the drive, the passion. Because like I was like last week Saturday or the week Saturday before, then I was invited to go have a guest speaker to go and motivate the artists. I'm like, guys, if you're in this industry because you think you want to make money, quick money, give up, go get a job.
Mm.
You need to know what you want. For me, for example, I knew what I wanted. It limited took me having to take a track because my parents didn't understand. It was in 1992. You tell them about film. My father used to, this is something my mother used to say, but hey, can you then when I could if you want and all basically. If you like I understand it, more for the film. If you want to happy like because all that if you want to happy basically. But guess what? I persevered and I pushed and I took a track, and when they could see those things that were happening, then they could understand. So you need to first have the
Mm.
passion, the hunger, the desire, and be disciplined. When the people you work with, our industry is so small. If I meet you in a slice now when we're working together, let's always remember, but down the line, so let's when I get a call, yo man, I'm looking for a producer, a director, a sound person.
Mm.
Who can you refer or recommend? Or I come to say, yeah, man, never Mkolomba. You're like, yo, not that one.
Yeah.
Because of how Tina we did not connect. So, but if and I'm not saying like who go up and get covered and get bullied, but in terms of let's always remember what we do stays.
Mm.
So people ask, they call you, say, "Sis, I'm looking for this." Like, yo, man, no man, there's this guy I know. There's this thing. That's how this thing works. In referral.
Yeah.
So be disciplined, be very dedicated, be passionate, and most importantly, treat other people kindly. Last and not least, which is always the push, is after they are paid forward,
Mm.
you got an opportunity by someone to do this. So through the hype, now I'm done. I've got my awards, I've got my SAFTAs, I've got my EC awards in.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to worry. No, it's
Mm.
paid forward. And I always say to people like Ms. Funda, for example, who's on the conversation, I'm like, guys, all that matters to me is once you've got this and you got it, all I ask for you is take one more person. We lift as we rise. So Gemma, when are you going up? Take the next person. And guess what would happen to us as black people,
Well,
as individuals,
I
industry?
can tell you, you will end up with the ninth Eastern Cape Film Festival, looking great, looking to be a contender, looking to probably have support from. One of the things that's beautiful that I appreciate about the world right now is how small it is, how interconnected the people in particular industries are, and it's very difficult in ours. But when we look at film, there are always these. Far-flung festivals that happen, but people are really making it work. I've got a few messages before I actually just find out where people can register and where people can follow you, and after that play the official trailer. I've got a couple of messages still coming through. This one from Siabulela, Uskelem, Tangesh, Siabulela itinarha, uba nomntu ofana nawe, qhuba time. But just shortly on that one, because one of the most beautiful things that I find about it is that you've been so passionate about the Love Life Center. I remember when it gets vandalized, and I'm like, why is this guy giving a damn about some? If Love Life is not taking care of it and the community is not taking care of it, Bahamba namazingi, how is it you're thinking? But you've done all of this and you still go back to your home and actually doing it there. The importance of that. I mean, like, I'm just reminded by this message that we are getting from Ola Siabulela.
And Uskelem is one of those guys I work with up at Tinak. I work with, and now he's also very passionate about doing this, and he's great creative musician, all those things. And sometimes it's about, for me, I tell myself when I slice, but the day I fall, which is maybe tomorrow, the day before, day after, I want when I meet my creator, I think I gave you these skills in life. What did you do with them?
Mm.
I shouldn't say, hayi, uSlice ebenivala ngaphandle, he never gave wathi, nceba, ngithetha
Nawe.
nawe. The question is, what did you do? Hayi, u-NFF, nceba. I want to be able to say, I tried my best,
Wow.
first and foremost. So in njalo, this is why I always push, because like I tell people, most of the time I sleep, I'm broke, but I sleep smiling, knowing that my heart
Is
equals.
in a is in a good
Literally, I
place.
love life.
Mm.
The festival was something that happened last year in December. But what happened is it was vandalized. So when I got there, the place was vandalized. I said, no, guys, it's vandalized. Obviously, I won't be able because they vandalized. But I was a para. They took out the plumbing. So
Yeah.
now it means the water. Yeah, and then they were waiting for insurance. I was like, no, guys, we can't wait for insurance. And I said, out of my own pocket, I'm going to fix this. I can't fix everything, the roof, but let me do the plumbing, the
The
basics.
basics.
And then when the insurance comes in, we're able to fix the roof and stuff. It was about giving back
Dude,
because you love
that
life.
nah, man, that
I tell
that
my kids,
that is gonna
"Abantwana
come.
bethu,
That
bra."
is gonna come back multifold, bro. And I think this is the start. I just wanted to touch on that because I think I'm just touching here and there because we have a short time on on the podcast. That would have been nice to actually just dedicate an hour or two and do one of those long format interviews and actually go in deeper in it. But I just want to go through the messages because it's also important for the people that are actually behind you. Usicelo, Ulinda, ngubani kona Mamle? Yeah, Odi Pambili, Mr. Mkolomba, see you go film festival yako. He's also here sending a shout out, brother.
By the way, Usicelo Mamle, if you guys know a guy called Umandolwane, that whole brand of the guy was Mandolwane. I think even when Usaba passed away, we just doing a film guy, Mandolwane. That is Mandolwane. Usicelo Mamle.
Wow, wow.
Job times are more like, and see what I'm talking about now? About having a passion and dedication. When Usicelo saw my post, we want Dutch, I want to go make sepra. Hey man, I just heard about your festival. I'd like to come through there. Ngithe, bruh, I don't have funding, so boy, wathi nceba, sokhwela ibhasi. I'll take a bus to get there. And then obviously when I say we get there, we'll sort out accommodation. But it's about the passion and dedication because he knows what this means.
Wow.
So he's willing to take a bus from Durban all the way to
Kibas,
here, because he knows what he wants to achieve. Well, the question you asked about dedication,
blessings,
passion,
brother.
desire, all those things, commitment.
Blessings.
Because
Ngwanomne Stalvester. That's probably Sylvester.
yeah, no, he
Smith.
normally chows my money. He normally chows my money. No, I tell you why. I tell you why it's a joke because, like, even during the process, because he's got a shop up at Tinaka,
Mm.
and then all my hard drives for all the 10 films, you can imagine how many hard drives I used, and any technical thing, I went to him, Starvest, and he always gave me a good
I
deal.
think we've gone to
But I
this
say,
guy
I'm
one time. Isn't it like next to the shopping center and the pub as you go down there from the other side from
it's if you know a former place called Governor. Just
Governor?
behind it. We call it like Fenwell. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
based inside that building. So like, yeah, it's that's him.
Let's move on. Let's check some the last few. This one is from Zimkulu Sidwell Mayo. We grow by lifting each other, Mr. Mkolomba. That's a message that's coming through from Mobzi. And the last one is from Snetemba Snez Gundesi. Uthi, "Thanks, man. You are an inspiration to us. Keep pushing, big man." So those are the messages that we have before we go to the um
Umbrella snares, umbrella guys. Like it's song because people inspire me to inspire others. So Usnes that now I remember times we were doing his open mic sessions, unplugged sessions, a bit he was the guy who was making sure it happened. So people is against like energy. If you give it, it comes back to you
Wow.
in a good way. You give negative energy, you get negative energy back. You give positive energy, you're gonna find like this people saying, "Oh, positive,
Yeah.
positive," because it's all about that, right? It's about making a difference in the world.
Wow, my brother. Yeah, we are running out of time, but I mean, I'm super excited. You and I can speak forever. But in terms of your social media platforms where people can follow you, in fact, let's start with how people can be part of it. Like, do they buy tickets? Do they register? Wat gaan aan?
Uh, our because we are trying to be a developmental film festival, we don't charge.
Hmm.
Because what happens when you charge someone, a child there who's interested in this, might not have the 10 rands or 20 rands. Then they'll miss out the opportunity. So our thing is always free admission because a developmental
Oh man.
initiative. But all people do is because the space is limited, because you can't be having workshops. In rally, there's 800 people because then it means there'll be confusion.
They
So we limit to 100 people. So all you do is send an email to info@ec ecfilmfestival.co.za. Hi, Kusizo Saliso. I'd like to reserve my space and on the Amba Noban, the three of us, just for the name, just for
mm,
that presence. So that we can be first come, first serve. Because once you get there's too many people, you should say, you responded later after slice. So which means he has a first access to that.
mm.
Same thing like you were saying, okay, why I'm doing this in Love Life, because if we have to take this to town, up and down, it costs 20 rands it takes to go there, 20 to come back. If someone has in at 40 rands, bruh, it's a lot. It might be the game changer that
Mm.
this guy needs in their life. And the next thing we are depriving them only because you want to charge. So it's free. So all people do is that send an email to info@ecfilmfestival, .co.za, and we are on social Eastern Cape Film Festival. That's our page where we post everything on Instagram, Eastern underscore Cape underscore film underscore festival. So those are the main ones that we use, basically. The Instagram and the Facebook ones, those are the main ones. So if you get onto Facebook, you'll find us.
Oh, wow.
Tap it and then so many updates, because also what you plan to do is stream live during the show festival. So now once you like the page, then we say if film festival went live, because not everyone's going to be able to get here, and then people can be wherever in America, Canada,
Mm.
Gauteng, KZN, and be able to be interact
Wow.
of part of the festival.
Wow. Nesh, I don't have words, brother. Like, as I say that, like, I promise that we will actually have, I mean, like, we've been talking about this. I think even before I started the podcast, I was like, I'm going to bring out this
Mm.
guy. I'm going to bring out this guy. I'm going to bring out this guy. I want to localize it. I want to focus more on us in the Eastern Cape. And, we've had all of these dreams to see one of us really getting up there and actually doing exactly what they promised they would do. And obviously having people abafana kwakunye noDimsani, who could have said, I'm fair to, we might be friends and all, but this is business. To have Umzwandile,
Mm.
Utikela, Jesus, like, you are the only two people that I know who talk forever. You and that gent, I don't know.
Fikela kanoni,
It's
fikela
built
kanoni.
into, but to have someone with such vast experience to be part of this, I can only imagine what the 10th one is going to look like. Right now, I want to say thank you very much for joining me and actually sharing. And I hope that people base Kabeja, aban base Karieja, Nes Paluga will definitely take advantage of this opportunity. And I just want you to remember, as it says, you were saying you have your conversation with your maker and what the envisaged questions that you would be asked. But I think for everyone who is watching and looking at you and have been supporting you, I think the one thing I can say and I can really give to people is that it's not easy. And I know, not for myself and other people and stories, but like from this gentleman right here, when I'm like, let's do something else, bruh. Let's do. I would go. I would spend days, at your place, and I'm like, you're like, how about we like thinking we plan, and then this guy says, yeah, we're gonna follow up, and then the next thing is coming back. Hey, yes, but the problem there with the film festival. I think what I'm gonna do for next. I'm like, for next year for what, my brother? But for that perseverance, for that passion, I want to big you up big time, Ndagam Kolomba. And I know this is going to be, blown out of the park. And the 10th one, I promise if I can't make it to this one, I'm definitely coming to the 10th and will be a part of it. And we will talk to you, quite often because I know that you would have other workshops that you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to Grafrenet. What the fuck? Like, no, there's a thing that's supposed to happen there. I'm like, I'm just going. Like, who's sending you there? Who's paying you to go there? No, bro, no, like, don't worry, I'm gonna make it. I'm like, this guy. But bro, all of that is right here and it's paying off. God damn
And
it.
I'll pick you up on that challenge, to be exact. During the 10th Film Festival, you'll be podcasting from the festival. Send each I'm just saying, I'm telling you what's going to happen. You'll be podcasting from there for those days, set you up there, and then you can do this and you can say, guys, like I say this in March, we talked about this, guess what? Because something that you believe will happen, you manifest it and you work and
And
make
you
sure it
work
happens.
on it.
So, Jabulela. And goes in the support always, because one of those I don't give you props. Unfortunately, people don't know, but we happen to be friends. But I will be because I have. You've always been there. I remember 2020 before the COVID. I came to you and I slept over at your place. You
Yeah,
remember how I was feeling inside. Yeah, for 2 3 hours,
I
I'm like,
remember.
ah,
I
basically. And you've always been there to
remember.
support.
My brother, thank you so much. I'm really excited. Like obviously, and the fact that you're going to be streaming live, I will catch the updates there. And to the young people out there, if you want to make it in film, stop sticking to your Instagram and thinking like going into OnlyFans and being like an expert and all of that. Learn the skill. There are free workshops that are being conducted by this guy like on a yearly basis. So if you follow them on their social media platforms, you'll get to know all about this thing. But I'm excited about what I'm going to play now. I'm going to play out with this one.
Lights, camera, action.
The 9th Annual Eastern Cape Film Festival is back bigger, bolder, and more exciting than ever. From March 21st to 23rd, at the Love Life Center in Cariega, Nelson Mandela Metro, immerse yourself in the magic of cinema. Experience powerful short and long films, documentaries, and exclusive panel discussions covering the future of filmmaking, acting, industry training, and more. Sharpen your skills with hands-on workshops and masterclasses led by industry pros. The best part? It's absolutely free, but seats are limited. Secure yours now by emailing info@ekfilmfestival. Don't just watch. Be part of the story. The Eastern Cape Film Festival, where creativity meets opportunity.
Brother, that is it. Thank you so much, man. I'm so excited. Like, I don't even want to let you go now, but one, bruh. Thank you. Yeah, because we're heading. I mean, like, today it's a special broadcast. You remember I said that we were not supposed to. We broadcast every second Monday, but because I've been part of, I think the universe is putting me in spaces where there's a shift. I mean, like in the arts. Which is what we are finishing talking about right now. And for people that are in the automotive space, if we say Tinaga and and places like that, you want to hear what's happening in the automotive space as well. Because my next guest is actually an interview I had with the chief executive officer of a very beautiful organization that is doing wonders. But that is to follow. Nglesh, thank you once again, brother.
Nkosi Buddha. Thank you to you. Thank you to your listeners who basically took 49 minutes of their time to come and and talk to us. That's much
Bye-bye,
appreciated.
bye-bye, bye-bye. This was supposed to go on for 30 minutes at the most. Thank you,
It
brother.
was actually supposed to
Thank
not
you,
have
brother.
happened this
Man, Nceba Mkolomba, behind the film festival in Kariyega, okay, the Eastern Cape Film Festival. Very beautiful stuff. As I said, I mean, it's like, well, the universe is just conspiring. I had a beautiful chat over the weekend about something very interesting in the automotive space, and you know that there's a lot going on in the country. I think there are issues, and especially if you you know a bit about like the whole industry and obviously what's going on between South Africa and the United States of America, which tells you that there's definitely going to be a shift in a lot. I mean, given where the President Donald Trump is sitting, and obviously, I'm just bringing this one up of. The expulsion of Ibrahim Rasool from the United States, you know, after those allegedly regrettable sentiments, and obviously the tariff fights, the AGOA, the AfriForum, and all of this. And I've been saying for the longest time that the only thing that this thing is doing, unfortunately for us, is just playing down the government of national unity, the GNU, where these political parties that all did not have an overwhelming majority are now having to sit together and put South Africa together, and we are being distracted by this whole thing. But it hits on the very interesting industries in South Africa. I mean, like it's the farmers. They going out there saying that like we are out for farmers, but when AGOA gets taken away from South Africa, it affects the very farmers that are supposed to get them, you know, those produce out to places like the United States of America. And now the question is like, was it really worth it? You know, peddling lies and blah blah blah. You know the whole thing. But it also will hit because you just need to sit. The computer that you're using, made in the United States of America, largely obviously China as well. The software that you use, the social media platforms, you know, that we're like thingy, you know. And these are sentiments when I sat and I asked off camera, talking to Oput Andile Africa, who is the chief executive officer of AIDC. They've got an event coming up this Wednesday, but I'll let him talk more about it from an interview that we had with him. Good day or a good evening. It is the Slicer TV podcast, and today we are lucky to have Mr. Andile Africa, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the AIDC. It's a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, you are responsible for quite a very important sector of our society. I think you contribute something like 4.9
of the GDP. Yes.
GDP.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And we are meeting in very interesting times in terms of trade and all of that. But that is not what we are here. We'll discuss that some other time.
Right.
Right now, what we have is the round table that I believe the AIDC is organizing. And paying particular attention to the North Corridor.
Absolutely. So the IDC, together with the Tshwane Automotive SEZ, or Special Economic Zone, company called TAZES, we're all based in the Northern Corridor of Gauteng, which is Tshwane, in the city of Tshwane. And our main focus or mandate is to develop the automotive industry. And part of the developing the automotive industry is also looking at particularly the logistics of vehicles that are getting imported or vehicles that are getting exported out of South Africa.
All right. Is that your theme, or what is Correct. The theme this year? I know that you've had one year before.
We've had one on electric vehicles, which was the theme then. This one concentrated specifically on the issue of logistics. As you can imagine, Gauteng is a landlocked province. So in order to get to evacuate fully built vehicles or to import fully built vehicles into Gauteng, we need to use the ports. And so the logistics between Gauteng itself and the ports or the coast, it's a big challenge at the moment. And that's part of what we'll be addressing at the roundtable.
All right. Now, in terms of who will be speaking, your panel, your guests, who are we expecting?
We're expecting some very interesting stakeholders in the logistics space. We're expecting Transnet Freight Rail, which is a key part. As you know, government is moving from road to rail. That's the broader strategy, is to move cargo from road to rail. We'll be having the Road Freight Association, which basically most trucking companies belong to that association. We'll be having NAMSA, which is the National Automotive Manufacturers Association. We will have the CEO of AXA, Airports Company South Africa, will be part of the panel. And so the type of conversation we'll be having will be across the board in terms of different modes of transport. So in terms of the logistics of automotive, to move vehicles, currently they are moving mainly through road or on road from here through the port of Durban. So both those that are getting imported up to Gauteng and those that are manufactured here in Gauteng down to the coast move through road. The idea here is that we want to move from road to rail. All right. Part of the challenge with road is that the road infrastructure in South Africa cannot handle the amount of trucks that we have on the road. And so the idea is that we want to move the cargo from the road to rail.
You basically want us to have less potholes on our roads.
Absolutely. It does have a toll. The trucks have a massive toll on the road infrastructure. And yes, the issue of potholes, the issue of safety as well, of other passenger vehicles, it's a big challenge. So that's part of why we want to move cargo to rail.
Right. As I listen to you, largely the panel is made up obviously of industry experts as far as the automotive space is concerned and the logistics as well. But obviously there comes the issue of budgets, because I mean, like we just come from the budget speech right now. So you obviously will you have any stakeholders from government, or to probably reassure that these plans that you guys are talking about are possible?
Yeah, funding is a challenge. So part of the panel, in fact, will be the IDC, which is a government-owned funding organization. So they are looking at basically raising funds and funding the recapitalization of the rail infrastructure. There is a very ambitious plan to build or to revive the rail between Tshwane and the city of Gqeberha. It's called the North-South Corridor. And the idea is that most of the vehicles that are produced in Gauteng, Ford currently produces about over 720 vehicles per day. And these vehicles currently are going through the port of Durban. But the future, the idea is that we want to take them through the port of Port Elizabeth. And that rail infrastructure, which is currently dilapidated, it needs some investment. And hence then the engagement with the likes of IDC from a funding point of view.
Very interesting, and I'm sure it's tumultuous times, and as I'd indicated, we probably will have a more in-depth conversation, especially given what is going on in the world right now, and how the relationship between South Africa and the United States of America is a bit dicey, and obviously it affects your sector and what you guys are doing. So,
there's some exciting times. There are challenges with the US. Currently there's an agreement called AGOA, which is an agreement between the US and African countries to look favorably at exports from Africa into the US. With President Trump doing what he's doing with the executive orders, we don't know what the future of AGOA is. So it does pose a risk. And as I said, Ford is an American company, which is based here in the Northern Corridor. So it does have a material impact, or would have a material impact on us. Ford is one of the biggest employers in the city of Tshwane. As I said, they produce over 720 vehicles per day. So that's a lot of jobs that could be lost there if anything were to happen in terms of our geopolitical relationship with the United States. However, having said that, there's been a massive development in the automotive space in South Africa in that the Chinese models are coming in. And these Chinese models present an opportunity for localization. At the moment, most of the Chinese models are fully imported, fully built. There is a number of them. For example, bike currently is being built in Kucha, in Gqeberha, and FAW also built in Gqeberha. So there's some discussions that are being had. They're quite an advanced stage where some OEMs from China are looking at setting up operations in South Africa.
Wow.
So the global South-South relationships through the BRICS relationship that we have with China, I think it's an opportunity for us, given what is happening with the US, that we actually leverage on that relationship, the BRICS relationship, and get the Chinese investors to come and invest in South Africa.
Well, Mr. Andila Africa, CEO of the AIDC, is there any message that you probably would want to convey to people who will be attending the roundtable? And
I think we will be painting the picture of the current, meaning what are the current challenges with the logistics. As I said, there's a road infrastructure is one issue. There is issue of rail infrastructure that is dilapidated. There is the issue of air freight, which I think in the automotive space has been grossly underutilized, particularly for high value items. So in terms of the panels that will be there, we'll be addressing all these matters of the road challenges, of the rail infrastructure challenges, and of air freight. Looking into the future then, we'll be looking at what investments needs to be made in reviving this infrastructure, and what strategies need to change in terms of the ports that we use to export our manufactured vehicles. Currently, we have majority of the traffic, the port traffic, going through Durban, the port of Durban. And I think everybody knows that there has been some challenges there. There is congestion at the port of Durban. We have the port of Kucha in Gqeberha. We have the port of Port Elizabeth also in Gqeberha, which are, in my view, underutilized if you compare them with the port of Durban. So I think part of the conversation that we'll be having is to looking at the whole port infrastructure in South Africa, and looking at how do we optimize the utilization of that port infrastructure.
All right. So thank you so much. All the best for Wednesday. That is it, ladies and gents. The CEO of AIDC, Mr. Andila Africa, telling us about what to expect in the upcoming North Corridor roundtable discussion that will be taking place on Wednesday. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, my people. That is it for this special episode, paying particular attention to, believe it or not, economy drivers in our country. And I think for younger people that are watching, it is for you to look at different careers in your lives. I understand, and I know I've known the world over that, grade 12, and you're busy trying to choose careers and stuff. You are lost for yours, and you end up doing something that you are not passionate about. This is something that we definitely are going to be doing on the Slicer TV podcast. And one of the things that we're going to have a post roundtable broadcast of this roundtable where we will be speaking to some of the people who will be there. Then you'll get to know and understand what goes into excuse me, using rail. You might pick up a career that you're interested in, freight, all of these the different careers that are within the automotive space and its importance, and the conversations we often have about the Chinese are coming through, and all of that. At least when you hear it from industry leaders, I think for professionals as well, to look what direction can you take your career towards, maybe you're in the middle of changing and all of that. So it becomes very important. I talk a lot, guys. I get paid for it. So that's what's going to be going on. We will have a post a roundtable broadcast. And on Wednesday, we will also have, live updates here and there, speaking to the different interesting people that will be there at the event. And obviously, next week, Monday, my team is going to be here. And obviously we will take a look at our regular features, which is the motivational moment with Ototo, and obviously music and movie with Sisa Nondumo. From me, myself, and I, it's been a beautiful one. I hope your Monday is made different. Okay, maybe it was lousy. You had a lousy day at work. I hope we got to pick you up a little bit as far as that one is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us, and do subscribe to the channel, both on especially on our YouTube channel, because at some point we will steer towards hosting solely on YouTube. So do subscribe, do like, do watch our previous episodes. And what's important as well is for you to send us your comments in terms of people that you would like for us to have on the podcast as guests. Okay. Thank you so much. I've already taken more than enough of your time. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been nothing but a pleasure. And obviously, for those people that would like to advertise, it is, let me point at it like right there. Right there. Now, obviously, we exist as a white label podcast as well. So basically, that means that we can host for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Slice of TV podcast production. We bring the people that do the thing for you, and all of those details are here. And if you want to advertise on the podcast as well, the details are there. sales@slicer.co.za, WhatsApp 0766330742. Easy peasy like that. My people, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.